Brett. Any changes to the starting lineup?
We'll do it just like we did it during the regular season where we announce it or we tell the scorekeeper at 25 on the clock.
Obviously, you get to prepare for Giannis again. Just how different is preparing for him this year than last year?
Yeah, I mean, he's much improved. And I think that's one of the things I admire about the best players in this league is because of the way that they're, targeted by the opponents, the way that people focus on them all summer to try to prepare against them, they seem to improve at an even greater rate than everybody else. And Giannis is certainly at the top of that list. I think he's really, really gotten better in a lot of areas. And he was already, elite. So, as I said before, I think he's the MVP of the league. He had a great year. And this fit, the way they're playing and how he plays and the people around him is great.
Brett, last year's series is a logical reference point for this, I guess, except that there have been significant changes on both sides. How much can we go by what happened then? I guess even if everything were identical, how much could you go by?
Yeah, I think anytime you go through a playoff experience, when you're competing against another team with a lot of similar players, you'd think there'd be a lot to draw from that. There probably is some, but I would say very little versus the usual, just because change in system, a lot of new people on both sides, a lot of people that are going to play important roles on both sides, and the way they play is so different than last year. And I think that obviously adding Lopez in the middle, the way they play him on offense with his ability to stretch the floor, and the way they play him on defense with him protecting the paint, and then their bench, they've really done a good job of putting the right pieces around their best players.
Bud was talking about kind of the virtues of playing, the same rotation as we made the regular season, playing a lot of guys. What's it like preparing for them with all the different looks that they can give you with the personnel they have?
Well, I think and obviously they didn't have to go. They didn't have to really trim it in round one. I think that ultimately they're a good team that has a lot of depth, quality depth. They've got good players that are unavailable today in Brogdon and Gasol. So I think when you think about it, you're just trying to prepare to play the best that you can. They don't change how they play necessarily, depending on who's in the game. But obviously, they change how specific personnel play depending on who they're playing with. And so you just have to be alert to that and on your toes, and attacking that appropriately. But we expect to see, we know how good all of those players are.
Brad, I'm not sure if you've spoken about this locally, but now that you've had a series to coach him, what is playoff Kyrie like for you compared to regular season Kyrie?
Joe, I'd say that it's not like a huge shock. I mean, he absolutely destroyed us 2 years ago. So in games, we're down 2-1 there, and we're up 16 in game 4, and he goes for just a ridiculous run of scoring. I mean, we knew what he can do. We know what he's capable of. He's been in a good, he's really been good for us all year. And I think the thing that stands out is he's been great about when he draws two, he makes the right play, and when he doesn't, he's one of the game's elite scorers. So, he's a guy that can do that. And then I thought in round one, he did a tremendous job defensively on both their wings, sometimes matched up on Matthews, sometimes matched up on Evans, and then also on their point guards.
Coach, over the years, is there anything you've tried or talked to your team about or actually done to get them ready for these unusual start times, like noon local time?
This group all grew up playing 8 a.m. games, and then 11 a.m. games, and then 3 p.m. games, and then 10 p.m. games, and then doing it all over again. So I would say that, we talk about it a little bit during the regular season. Like we played Atlanta at a noon tip earlier this year, and we just said you never know when you're going to get a playoff game at a noon tip. And so, this is our third afternoon game out of 5 games. And so it's just something that it's one of the things about the playoffs is the regular season prepares you for a little bit of everything. And then you play when you're told to play. If you're not ready because of the time of the day, you're probably not gonna be successful anyways. You know, I feel like you could play these games whenever you want, our guys will be ready to go, and their guys will be ready to go.
Brad, do you have any update on Marcus Smart?
No, he's in there doing, some core work. That's my update for the day. I really don't have any update, because I haven't asked timeline-wise, they just keep telling me he's improving, and I haven't gotten anybody come up and say, hey, he might play in game 3. I don't see any way that he's available, until whatever his timeline hits, that we thought initially, 4 to 6, and I said at the start, 4 seems awfully aggressive.
I asked Bud too, but just the long layoff, you haven't had to deal with that. Just how challenging has that been, and what are you expecting for today?
Well, we had 7 guys sit out of game 1, or the last game 82, and they had the exact same week. So, been through it before. Guys are sick of practice, guys are ready to play, and guys are sick of film, they're ready to play. So, I'm glad we're playing at noon and not 7, so we couldn't do anything else.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.